Hello, and welcome to Pondering Monsters. This is a new series that I wanted to try out to hopefully fill a gap in the D&D community, one of regular videos on various monster encounters. My goal with this series is to take a monster from 5th edition, detail out a small encounter that you can use it in, talk about some things to keep in mind while running this encounter, and how to scale it for different levels of parties. Hopefully this will give Dungeon Masters new and old a jumping off point for whatever sort of creative funk they might find themselves in. As such, this video is intended to be the session zero for the series. When I plan encounters, there are a few assumptions that I tend to make, and I just want to take this video to detail them here so that moving forward, we're all on the same page. So without further ado, let's get into it. Who is this for? As I mentioned earlier, this series is intended for GMs, both new and old, who may find themselves in a creative rut of some sort and want some inspiration to get out of it. I've been there myself, and things like this usually help me get going in the right direction. As such, I wanted to try to give back. Additionally, I'd like to think that if a player saw this series and got inspired by an encounter, that they'd try running their own game. And I'm sure a lot of forever DMs out there could agree that more people running the game is a good thing. Party baseline. Overall, the encounters that I'll be putting together are for a lower level party, specifically about party size of 4 or 5 players with characters at around level 5. Reason for this being that it's my understanding that's what 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons was sort of designed around. Now I recognize that not all groups can get together a party of that size on a regular basis, and as such I will be talking about how to scale around these encounters. Mostly the scaling done will be scaling up for higher level parties, but hopefully if you see how the scaling up works, you can figure out how to reverse engineer it and scale something back if necessary. Difficulty checks. For all of the encounters that I'll be detailing here, I'll be using the same table that I use to calculate the various DCs that the party may face. From what I've seen, this is a pretty common scale across multiple tables, and it does pretty well in a pinch. Though, you should feel free to change things to suit your game, your players, your table, as you see fit. Now, if I've mentioned a specific check and you have a character in mind that you don't think should be able to fail that check, then by all means, remove the failure option for that character, or that group. At the end of the day, it's your game, and you should run it in whichever way is best for you and your table. Which actually leads into my final assumption. The map is not the territory. Yes, I'm stealing this from another D&D YouTuber, Colville, a favorite of mine, and he has a whole video that takes that statement and goes way more in depth into it than I'm going to go into here, and I highly recommend you watch it. It's linked in the description. But it boils down to, at the end of the day, you've purchased these books. No one is going to come and take them away from you because you're playing D&D wrong. It's your game. You get to decide what's right for you and your table. For me, I'm using the map is not the territory to call out that aside from the hard stats of the creature, I don't plan on using any of the alignment or older lore for it. Reason being, this isn't meant to be a ecology of monsters or a monster lore exploration. It's meant to be a, hey, that monster looks cool. How can I use that? For something like this, I don't want people to feel like they can't create a lawful good society of manticores in their world just because the monster manual says that they're evil. Or for someone looking at a cool monster to be like, man, I really want to use this, but it's meant for combat and I'm looking for a social encounter. limiting yourself like that can be fun from time to time, and I think you should do that too. It's a great exercise in creativity, but I don't want to create a series around that. Now, if I do pull in old lore or something that I said I'm not going to include, I will do my best to call that out in the beginning. And with that, I'm on to the next video. Hopefully the point of the series makes sense and you're looking forward to the next one where we actually get into an encounter. If you are, help me out by clicking the like button, subscribe, doing that thing with the bell so you can know when it gets posted, and let me know in the comments what monster you'd be looking for next. Until next time, keep pondering.